Up next, the WHL Show with Gabriel Neumann.
Good evening and welcome back to the WHL Show. I'm your host, Gabe Neumann, and today we are going to be featuring two Vancouver Giants. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you already know who they are, so make sure you check out my pages if you want to know in advance who I'm going to be bringing on, and also so you can request any player appearances that you would want to see. Before we bring on our guests today, though, here's a bit about the team. The Vancouver Giants are currently 4th in the BC division, right behind the Kelowna Rockets. The Giants have won 1 of 6 games played, but 3 of those losses were either in overtime or shootouts, so they are fighting hard. In the entire WHL, they are 15th place. Forward Ty Thorpe, who is our first guest for today, wears number 8 for the Giants. He has 5 points in 6 games played so far. 3 of those are goals. He scored his first goal in Vancouver's first game this season, which was on September 23rd. Last season, he had 44 points in 62 games with 16 goals and 28 assists. Thorpe was drafted by the Victoria Royals in 2017, and he played for the Brandon Wheat Kings for 3 years before heading to Vancouver. He is 20 years old, and so this year will be his last year in the WHL. Now, goaltender Brett Mirwald, who is our second guest, he wears number 33 for Vancouver. He has played 3 games with the team so far, and at the moment he has a .924 save percentage and a 2.31 goals against average. Mierwald was drafted by the Moose Jaw Warriors in 2018, where he played before joining the Vancouver Giants this season. This will be his first full season in the WHL after the 2020-2021 season was cut short. He played 3 games with Moose Jaw last year and spent the majority of his season last year with the Wewisi Wolverines of the MJHL. Again, thank you so much for tuning in today, and let's go ahead and introduce our first guest. First of all, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just going to jump right in. The Giants have had some hard-fought games, but obviously some didn't have the result that you guys have wanted. What, for you, has been your mindset going into the 2023 season?
First off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I think that we are starting to form an identity and we know what creates success for us. We need to be a hardworking team. We need to play on both sides of the puck and get pucks behind them and use our forecheck. And obviously we're a big team as well, so we use our size. And I think that's been a key, is kind of figuring out who we are and what we need to do to be successful.
Absolutely. What strengths have you guys been developing specifically? Which ones do you want to highlight for us?
I'd say a big one is our systems, especially defensively, making sure that we're able to lock things down, and when we start running around, being able to, return to our systems. And I think that's been a big key because we're going to have to rely on our defensive game, not just from our defensemen, but our forwards as well. And then on the flip side, getting in on the forecheck and, playing below the goal line, being able to keep teams hemmed in and creating zone time and then net pressure, that's a big key for us.
Awesome. So you've played really well this year so far. What advice would you give your last season self?
That's a good question. I would say that just to stay consistent, and there's always going to be ups and downs, and sometimes puck's going to go in, sometimes it's not, but being able to return to the things that make you successful as a player is key, so you can overcome the sort of ebbs and flows of the season.
Absolutely. So this season specifically, could you describe your game in 30 seconds or less?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say my role's obviously grown over this year, and I'm a solid two-way forward. I play good on both sides of the puck. I work hard, I compete, I win battles. I'm a good playmaker, and I'm kind of relied on in every situation in the game, and including face-offs. So for me, it's about being good on both sides of the puck, making good plays, moving my feet, winning battles, and then also, contributing offensively.
Awesome. So you mentioned your role in this season. Would you consider yourself a pest on the ice?
At times, yes, definitely. I'm not afraid to go to the hard areas and battle. So that's definitely a big element of my game, and it's one of those things that kind of makes my game tick. So I definitely stay true to that identity.
Love it. Who else on the team would you say is?
We got a few guys for sure. I'd say Paul Mary can get into it, not just on the ice, but also, like chirping guys or kind
Of
of
course.
getting under guys' skin. Langkow is another guy, and then Camazola. So we're definitely not short on guys that kind of like to play on the edge.
Love it. Love it. So talking about your team and everything, who's a teammate that you would least want to play against?
I'm gonna have to say Jesper Vikman,
Smart.
because he's a really good goalie. So I would be hard pressed to get any past him.
Of course, of course. Who now on the flip side of that, who's a player on an opposing team that you would most want to play on the same team with? Can be from any team.
Hmm. I would say one guy that I don't really know him, but I have a lot of respect for is Jared Davidson on Seattle.
Yeah.
He's a really solid player. I'd say I see like similarities in my game, but he's hard to play against. He's really good in the face-off circle. He
Awesome.
can score. He kind of plays um, in all situations as well. So that's one guy I'd like to have on my team.
Awesome. Love it. Now, which underrated teammate should fans keep an eye on this season?
Mm, I would say Gronick, Gronny. I think he's a really solid player. Thinks the game well, can move it well, has a great shot, and I think he's going to have a really good season this year.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing it. So, if the Giants didn't exist, if they were never formed, which WHL team would you most want to play on? And I know you're from Winnipeg, so you can't say the ice.
Okay, I would probably say, um, well, Brandon, my old team, the
Yeah,
Leaf
of course.
Kings. So, just because obviously back in Manitoba, I kind of know everyone there, and that's probably my answer, just Brandon, even though I've already played there.
Yeah, that works. That works. So this season, who are you most excited to have the opportunity to play against? I know Brandon, obviously, because that was your old team, but besides them, who would you say?
Yeah, obviously Brandon, because I played there and they're coming here soon, so I'm excited for that one. But maybe Regina,
Hmm.
because it's another good team out east, and
Yeah.
I have a friend on that team, and they also have Bedard, obviously.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
I love playing against high competition. So
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So like branching out, we're looking at the NHL now. Who would you say are your NHL idols?
um, probably McDavid and Draisaitl.
Solid.
Being an Oilers fan, I've
Hmm.
obviously always watched them, and they're two of the best in the world. So I'd say those two.
Awesome. So do you have any like superstitions or rituals?
Not really. I mean, I try and like stay away from too many superstitions, but I
Mhm.
do have like a lot of routines.
Nice.
So I like to keep a journal that I write in before the game, just kind of have coming into the game with a mindset and how I feel. And it's just something that I've found, at least over the season. It's another thing that you can come back to and reflect on and
Really
kind
smart.
of,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. I like that. So what does an average game day look like for you?
So at home, normally we'll go to the rink in the morning. You'll hop on a bike, go for a walk, stretch out, and then we'll have some video just going over our opponent for the night and some of the keys things to watch for.
Mhm.
And then you'll go home, maybe have a quick snack. You'll take a nap for a bit, and then you'll have your pregame meal. And then after that, you gotta head to the rink. It's kind of a long drive, but so you leave in the afternoon, and then you get ready for the game at the rink.
Awesome. Do you have like a go-to pregame meal?
I'm pretty simple. It's usually just like chicken and rice, some vegetables.
Awesome. Alrighty, perfect. So if you weren't playing hockey, what would you want to do with your life? What would your profession, like your goal there be?
Hmm, That's a good question. I definitely be in school right now.
Mhm.
I'm taking a few classes actually.
Awesome.
Um, I enjoy writing, but that's something I do kind of in my spare time. But
That's cool.
I'd like to stay in like some academic field.
Yeah, of course. What do you like writing?
Mostly just fiction, um, just little stories or
Awesome.
anything like
Love it.
that.
I'm a writer
Kind of
too,
everything.
actually, so that's cool. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So later on today, we're also going to be going and bringing on goalie Brett Mirwald. What's a question that you would like to ask him?
Mm, I would say I'd want to know what it's like living with Carson Haynes.
Got
He's
it.
a good buddy of mine, and I just want to know what's it kind of like? How's the scenario there
Awesome.
living with him?
Sweet. Will do. I'll ask him that. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and move to fan questions where I asked people to send in questions for you. So Matt wants to know, where did your passion for hockey sprout?
Hmm. So I kind of started playing right away when I was like 4 years old. My dad at our old house back home, he'd build a rink in the backyard. So I'd always go on there and skate with my brother.
Hmm.
And he was a goalie, he's older than me.
Yep.
So I'd go there with him and then also like playing mini sticks with him in the basement, that sort of thing. So I kind of just grew into it.
Awesome. Love it. Theo wants to know what your Starbucks order is.
Um, I'd say it's usually grande iced chai.
Smart. Good choice. Brianna wants to know, are you more of a Crocs or a Birkin person?
Honestly, I've never owned a pair of Birkenstocks,
Oh, really?
so probably Crocs.
Sounds good. Tracy asks, if you could pick a goal song, like a personalized goal song, which one would you pick?
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, I forget the name of it, but the Chicago Blackhawks used to have a goal song that I really liked, kind of in the early like
Oh, yeah.
2010s. I think it was Chelsea Dagger. Is that
Got
it?
it.
Something like that, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. If you think of it, be sure to let me know. Sierra wants to know, what were some nicknames that you had as a kid, and what are some nicknames that you have now?
Well, now my main one is just Thorpe, pretty standard.
Love it.
But one that is kind of random, but I used to get called Skippy
Oh, yeah?
as a kid, and I don't know where it even came from, but I guess it just kind of stuck. So a lot of my old friends call me that.
Cute. Awesome. And then for Sidebar 18 on Twitter wanted to, or he said, it's hard to believe an NHL team hasn't picked up Ty yet. Best faceoff guy in the WHL, relentless on the puck. How does he like playing for the Giants?
I love playing for the Giants. I'm super grateful that I was able to come out here, and I really got into a fortunate situation. And I mean, everyone in the organization has been good, and everyone I've met here has been great, and I've sort of fell in love with the city, so I'm super grateful.
Yeah, we're super excited that you're here. So last but not least, what's a message that you have for Giants fans?
Um, I'd just like to say thank you guys. We really appreciate your support, and we're going to be battling hard all season, and I'm excited to see you all at the games this year.
Awesome. You're great. Thank you so much, Ty. Thank you so much for coming on with me. I really enjoyed having you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. Take care.
So here I have Brett with me. We're going to go ahead and start off with a bang as I'm running over my words. I have right here with me, we're going to go ahead and start. First of all, what got you into hockey and how did you start playing?
I think it was always big in my family. My older sister didn't play, but my cousins played and my dad played. So I think it was kind of always just embedded in me to play. And I played a lot of sports, but hockey was kind of the one that stuck to me.
Yeah. What was your favorite NHL team growing up?
I think Vancouver Canucks actually, now that I'm in Vancouver, but growing up, it was probably the Canucks. Being from Saskatoon, I got to choose. So
Love it. Awesome. Speaking of Vancouver, how has playing in Vancouver been?
yeah, it's great. The organization's great. The group of guys is great, and the fans are awesome here. And it's a fun experience being out here.
Awesome. What are some of the differences that you've noticed going from Moose Jaw to Vancouver? It could be team mindset, different routines, whatever.
Yeah, I think they're different organizations, obviously, and I just think I've really enjoyed it here. I think I have a bit more fun here, and I feel a little more personable with the coaching staff here, and it's been
Awesome.
really good here.
Love it. Good to hear. What mindset have you had going into this season?
Yeah, I think this year, being one of the older guys now, I think I just tried to be more relaxed. I think being a young guy, when I was in Moose Jaw, I was really tense, and I maybe didn't always have too much fun. So I just came here, tried to have a little more fun with the guys and enjoy the games and enjoy the moment while I played.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you mentioned like playing in Moose Jaw and such. What advice would you give your last season self?
I think don't be too hard on yourself. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I think that didn't do me any good. So I think this year I've kind of, like I said, tried to be more relaxed and have fun and not let my inner pressure get to me and just kind of enjoy it.
Absolutely. So looking at your game, could you, for me, describe your game in 30 seconds or less?
I think I'm a flow goalie. Like I play quite a bit flowy, but I think I like to battle. I try to give my team the best chance I can, and I'll always battle. And I like to think I got good rebound control, but I think my main goal is to just always give the boys a chance late in the game and always keep the team in it when I can.
Love it. Who on the team would you least want to play against?
I mean, Chucky just got back from from camp, but Samuel Honzak right now he's been lighting it up. So seeing him in practice, he's been scoring quite a bit. So probably Honzi right now.
Awesome, gotcha. Now we're gonna flip that question. Who's a player on an opposing team that you would most want to play on the same team with?
Oh wow. I think growing up, I played midget with Nolan Allen, who's PA Raiders.
Right.
And just when we played midget, he was just the best D-man for me as a goalie. He would just shut everything down. So I think going back to midget, just playing with him was great, and how confident I felt he would stop the rush when it was coming.
Love it. So obviously going back and looking at goalie tandems and such in your past career, which one has been your favorite your entire career?
Sorry, what was the question?
If like which goalie has been your favorite to play with? Which goalie tandem has been your favorite in your entire career?
Yeah, I think honestly, right now I'm having me and Jesper get along quite well, and it's been great. And I think my rookie year in the bubble with Boston Belois also, I thought we got along, and it was a healthy competition, but we were friends and we supported each other really well. So I think that was a great tandem as well.
Love it. So looking at the Vancouver team this year, which underrated teammate should fans most keep an eye on?
I think Robbie will be a really good, strong defenseman. He's young and he's obviously a top prospect, but he's got good size. And I think as he gets older here throughout the season, he'll just become steadier and steadier. And I think he's got a bright future.
Awesome. Love it. So if the Giants didn't exist, if they were never created, which WHL team would you most want to play on? And you can't say the Blades because I know you're from Saskatoon.
I think Red Deer's are cool. I think they just have a nice rink there, and they've had a large amount of NHLers go through there, so I think it's a really strong program. So I think that'd be a cool place to play for sure.
Yeah, good point. So this season, looking at other teams, who are you most excited to have the opportunity to play against?
Yeah, I think being over in Saskatchewan, I never got to play any of the American teams, so it's cool getting to go to America and play in there because they're always strong. And then obviously, just personally, I think when Moose Jaw comes to town, it's going to be a game just because that's my former team. So I think it's cool to play those American teams though that I've never seen before. So that's cool.
Absolutely. Love it. So looking at just expanding from the WHL, who would you say is your goalie idol from in any player in the NHL?
Yeah, I think growing up it was Roberto Luongo. I think that's why I was the Canucks fan. And then since he's kind of moved on, I've always been a fan of Price, but I think right now I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I'm a fan of UC Saros, but I wouldn't say I have one favorite right now.
Yeah, smart answer. Awesome. Who is there anybody in the NHL that you model your play after?
I think I like to try and take a little bit from everyone. I think I
Of
like to
course.
watch quite a few goalies. I think I like Saros just because he's a smaller goalie and
Mhm,
his battle and how he plays the game. Because
mhm.
I can't play like a Ben Bishop, so I have to play more like a Saros. So I like watching guys that I can play similar to.
Nice. I like that. So what do you have any, or what are your superstitions and or rituals?
I think I have a personal kind of same stretching kind of routine I do, but I've
Mhm.
kind of when I was younger coming into this league, I think I had too many superstitions, and
Oh
part
yeah.
of being relaxed this year was to try and calm it down. So I've been able to remove some superstitions, but I think just trying to have a routine but not be superstitious is kind of what I aim for, and just keep a good routine, but don't get in that mindset where if I don't do this, then I'm gonna play bad. I just try and keep a
Yeah,
same routine.
of course. What are some of the superstitions that you've let go?
I used to be quite quiet before games. I always tried to be focused, and then yeah, I was mainly maybe in midget. I would have the same meal every day, like
Right.
it was the same meal, and now it's kind of I've relaxed and try to just go with the flow and not let that stuff get to me.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to pregame meal?
Breakfast, I have toast and peanut butter. That's every
Mhm.
morning, and then with the billets and stuff, it's usually just a pasta and a chicken or a chicken and a rice, just the normal hockey pregame meal.
Of course, love it. So go ahead and describe a typical game day for me.
Yeah, for me, it's just I wake up, then we'll have a team check in, so we'll just go do some activation at the rink just to get the boys and the muscles moving, and then I'll come back and make my breakfast, so just the eggs and toast, and then unlike most guys, I'm not a napper, so I'll
Really?
just hang out. I'll hang out in my room, watch a show, TV, or if sports are on, I'll watch that and just do anything to kind of just keep my mind busy, so I'm not sitting around thinking about the game. And then once comes game time, it's just eat, have supper, get dressed, and then drive out to the rink, and then it's showtime.
Awesome. What like TV shows or stuff do you find yourself watching on game days?
Really, whatever it is. I tried to, sports the other day was watching the Blue Jays, and
Right.
it's it's just really anything I can find or what I'm currently watching on Netflix. So there's not one set thing I like to watch.
That's good. So if you weren't playing hockey, what would you want to do with your life? What profession would you want to go into?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, hockey's always been that big part of my life. I think I've always had an interest in, something along pilot or something along those lines. But,
Awesome.
hockey's taken up such a big part. I've thought about what I would be doing, but I can never really give an answer.
That makes sense. Now, right before you, I actually interviewed teammate Ty Thorpe, and I asked him to ask you a question. And his question for you was, "What is it like living with Carson Haynes this year?"
Yeah, it's good. I like it. He's a good guy. In Musha, I was alone. I
Mhm.
didn't live with anyone, so I really enjoyed the change of getting to be with a guy. And when you're bored, there's always someone you can do stuff with or hang out with. And then playing here, we have that when we got to drive out to Langley to the rink. It's nice to have some company and someone to carpool. So I really enjoy living with Carson.
Awesome. Love it. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into fan questions where I ask people to send in questions for you. So Alex wants to know, what's your guilty pleasure movie or TV show?
I think it's got to be The Office. I think I've seen it probably the whole thing 4 times. So if there's never anything, it's always a safe bet to just throw on any episode of The Office for me.
Perfect. So at the time of recording this, it is Canadian Thanksgiving. So I want to say happy Thanksgiving. And also Tracy wants to know, what's your favorite Thanksgiving entree?
I think I mean turkey's the main show, but some stuffing is probably my favorite part of it all. So
love it. Sarah wants to know, what are some nicknames you had as a kid, and what are some nicknames that you have now?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, it's always been Mierzy, just kind of the abbreviated Mierwald.
Yeah.
And that still sticks today. And then a newer one from the last few years is the Meerkat, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but that's what the boys like. So I can't pick it. So
gotcha. And Theo wants to know what your Starbucks order is.
Not a big Starbucks guy. I'm actually not a coffee guy, so
Gotcha.
I save quite a bit of money compared to some guys not going to Starbucks. So maybe like a refresher, a lemonade, but no coffee for me.
Yeah, that's a good go-to. And last but not least, what's a message that you have for Giants fans?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting year. I think we've shown that we've been competitive every game, and we're battling, and we've had some close games, and maybe not the results, but we're a young team, and I think we've been getting better every game, and we've been in every game, and I think we're going to start putting the pieces together and getting more points then. And it's exciting. I think this team's going to be competitive every game we're in.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on today. And thank you again for coming on. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can catch Ty and Brett at Vancouver's next game against the Brandon Wheat Kings on Friday, October 14th. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram so you can see who's coming to the show in advance, and also so you can request any player appearances that you'd like. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week.